Sasa imetosha, sasa imetosha, sasa imetosha, sasa inatosha.
I'm Dan Kalebomulo, the team leader of Disability Focus Africa Kenya. Disability Focus Africa Kenya is a society that works with the persons living with disabilities. Disability is a possibility in life, regardless of the stage. At young age, middle age, and even at the old age, somebody can become a disabled anytime. There are a lot of challenges that people living with disabilities go through. For instance, for the physically impaired, like myself, in most cases we can't access buildings where we don't have the lifts or the ramps. This is Kibera Community Youth Program. This is where we are working from. They are hosting us at the moment because since we lost our offices during the post-election violence, we've not had a central place to operate from. So we're also working with the deaf women. This project actually advocates for the reproductive health right of the deaf women and more so the economic empowerment aspect, because we realize that most of them are taken advantage of because of their economic status. The general public, I don't think they really understand who we are, and in most cases the stigma and the attitude that they have towards persons living with disability becomes a major challenge. Unless these people change their mindset, I mean, they'll still actually violate the rights of these people.
Hi, Mabruk, how are you? Yeah, thank you. Very nice.
Thank you. My name is Mabruka Abdulmajid Sebit. Right now you are at my place where I live in Kibera, Kamimuru. Kamimuru is a village within Kibera. I'm a volunteer with Nubian Rights Forum, where we advocate for social justice. Nubian originated from Southern Sudan. They fought for the British in the First World War and the Second World War. The Nubians were given this place as a token by the British, and to my surprise, they weren't given any title deed. Most of the people who lived here, they died here and they were buried here in Kibera. They were promised title deeds and nothing was done. Came the Moi era, it was just mere promises. Then came the Kibaki era, nothing. If you vote for me, I'll give you this. It's just promises after promises after promises. The government doesn't recognize Nubians as the citizen of Kenya. And yet you're born here, you have your birth certificate. Maybe you have, your parents were born here, they have their birth certificate. It's a big, big problem. There's this time, around 2000, there was a war between the Nubians and the Luos because of houses. They didn't want to pay, and most of the Nubians depend on houses for their survival. So that thing brought tribal war, and so many people died during that war. So to me, I don't want that thing to happen again because of land. We just encourage each other. We don't give up. We have to struggle and fight for what is ours.
Tunaenda tunajaa kotini sisi wote. Mama, mtoto, nani, watu wote tunakuwa koti. Wasadamu, waja yo neno homework ya gutigira. Wende unaambia watu tusipoenda wote, inasemekana mudhuru watulihama watu walipi nyumba lisiti zionekani.
Na wamesema watu walipe.
Kwa majina ni Patrick Kamodho Gidinji. I was involved in farm fellowship due to my activism around issue on right to housing here in Mudhuru. Government were of the view that they come and demolish the housings. It belongs to 3,500 residents of this estate. So they were intimidating the community to vacate the land. They came up with the paint. You see, we have places painted X. They were telling people that this thing has to be demolished in 3 days. So people started becoming very scared. In 3 days, what can we do? So they were of the view that they have to demolish it quickly before a new constitution is being passed. In those 3 days, We did a fundraising where we pushed everyone to pay 100 shillings for us to fundraise how we can access lawyers. We fundraised 12,800 shillings. The following day we went to lawyers within the town. When we were instituted the court case, that's also brought another issue of legality, because the land in itself is a question mark. We told them that no, we have an issue here with the legality, who owns this land. People around here are not very rich, but you cannot just come and start demolishing their housing saying that it is outdated. You really need to respect them and give them an alternative. I was elected as the chairman of the entire estate. And you see, the fellowship came at a timely time when the same issue are happening here in Mudhurwa, demolition, eviction. People didn't have a common voice. People didn't realize that what was happening was wrong, but they really needed people who have knowledge on what is happening, and people can research and know how to go about it and to challenge the system on what was happening.
My name is Shalmat Kasim, and I was very radical in my student days. Yeah, when I used to tell the institution if they don't readmit those students, we are going to sue them because of their right to education. So I'd been a student leader at Kenyatta University. As time went by, we just got to realize that there's more to do with people than being students and working at that level. We have to join hands, with people at the grassroots to have these strong networks. These people need us. We need to work with them. We can't assume them, because they say that let them struggle on their own capacity and let us struggle in our own capacity. No, we are all struggling for the same vision and we all have the same ambition. Major problems facing the youths, because as young women, we fall under that category too. And for women is like double the problem. And because it's a patriarchy society, it's a male-dominated society, so we are discriminated in that angle. The males seem to be like more favored than the woman, even in access to information. The roles we are given is not actually to empower us, is to empower others. While instead of being told to sit in that decision-making table, your position is specified. Yours is to bring other women and make noise there and all that. The money system, the financial system is not favoring us at all. Africa, male ego, and even the society itself, we have to prove ourselves like times 10. So the only way is not to wait, but to aggressively seek it. If it's there, seek it. If it's not there, agitate for it.
My name is Dennis Duncan Mosiere, aka Grandmaster Masese. I'm a poet. We are in Mkuru kwa Ruben, which is just adjacent to Mkuru kwa Njenga slums. We are at a place which is near the Mombasa-Kisumu railway. And then just behind us there's the Kenya pipeline. I've been staying here, as an artist. And the work that I'm currently doing with a group of youths here, about 7 of them, is waste management and collection of garbage, especially from houses or structures. I've been helping in educating the group on the importance of having courage and strength to do this work, and also to be able to talk to people more as part of education for social change. I took this as an initiative because I've lived in this place. It's very dirty, and sometimes I go to cleaner places in town, and so I really wanted to also change and make my place clean. The instrument I play is called Obokano. It belongs to the Gusii community of Western Kenya. And I learned to play it at the age of 10. But then the perception with the people was that that was perceived as being primitive, not modern, and just stupid. Creativity helps you solve your problem. Because with my creativity, I did not wait for people to come for me. I went for the resources that I needed. I went to sing. I went to write. So people saw me singing, and then they were interested in what I was singing and in what I was writing. I think art is really important to change you as a person. Then next, begin to change others using creativity. So to really talk to people and make them united, you need some amount of madness, which people say artists are. You need some amount of creativity, and it's that madness that people call it.
Everything you're dealing with, the person you're dealing with, not fake emotions, not fake like.
My name is Gadoni Blessel. I am a queer social rights activist. What I do is fight for the rights of the sexual minorities in Kenya. If you are a sexual minority in Kenya, you have to be a person and a half. There are some places where they pretty much don't care. If you have a capacity to take care of yourself and protect yourself, then you are safe. But if you are a sexual minority in these social economic spaces that are quite low, then you have problems. So it can come from being beaten, being harassed, being raped, being all this. And one of the things also that has happened that is quite sad is that they've actually killed people because of their sexuality. It's always living in constant fear and knowing that anything can happen to you, knowing that you cannot express yourself, knowing that you cannot be yourself, knowing that even at some point you have to live double lives, either if it's with your family or it's with people you know, it's even with the just wider society, it's living with constant fear. I started sensitizing the only community I had, the people I knew, some who beat me up really bad, had to be taken to hospital just here. And the other thing has been talking with the help of organizations to the wider society of what it means to be a homosexual in Kenya. It's not just about your religion says it's wrong and your mom tells you it's not right and all this stuff. It's also about discriminating against a human being. It's also about hurting this human being. It's also about this person can be your brother, this person can be your son, this person can be your mother, and it's talking to them from a perspective like that, making them understand that we are part of your society and we cause no harm.
Jina langu ni Gasheke Gashehe, a member wa Bunge la Mwananchi, People's Parliament. They used to have an open debate at Aga Khan Walk. And many times when I passed through town, I would pass there and I would listen to them giving a debate about politics, what was taking on in Kenya. And we started saying that not only having debates, but we needed to have direct political action, challenging the system. An ordinary Mwananchi was looking for a space to speak about his politics or to participate in the politics of the country. So Bunge, as the democratic space was opening in 2002 and Moi regime was getting out, it became as a space for ordinary Mwananchi to meet here in the evening or in the lunch time after work and start debating. Because the more the number of people increased coming to Jivanji, the more the state machine started feeling threatened by a gathering at Jivanji. And they started also bringing people to beat us sometimes and challenge us and tell us we are having illegal gathering. And that's how I was ushered in as an activist of Bunge la Mwananchi, clarifying the message.
The unification, togetherness, solidarity. My name is Gulita Makobe. I work with an organization by the name of AFRA. It's an LBT organization, just strictly for lesbian women, bisexual and transgender. And for you to be able to join it, you have to be, an artist in some way. You have to do an art thing like play guitar, piano, sing, write poetry, painting. There are a lot of lesbian women out there. They don't have the space to express themselves, and they have no place to showcase their work because most of their works, it's about them, the challenges, the struggles they go through. That's why the reason this thing was made. Just grab what you can from it, because I'm going to ask a question. This is the GAC Center. This is where AFRA has been given a space of an office where the members may come here and be free, be themselves. It's not only for AFRA, we also have other organizations around. So we're sharing this space, but GAC is mainly the umbrella. It's like you found yourself in this thing, and then you don't know how to come out. No matter how hard you try, you can't. We're trying to fight it to make them accept us and see that we are human.
There's a very short documentation that I want to show you.
My name is Daniel Otieno. I live around this area, and the movement that I'm working for is called the Young People's Forum. It is an organization that was founded after the post-election violence. That was in 2008. One of the founders of the organization, he's the late, it's called GPO. He was shot dead along the university way. That is after presenting a report to the UN rapporteur about the extrajudicial killings. Around this community, the main challenge that we are having is the access to information. Because even that one, I can remember way back when we were doing the referendum, you know, most of them were voting on the ethnic ground. Basically, we're dealing with the young people, and we're trying to involve them in the decision making at all the levels when it comes to the issues of democracy and governance and everything. And apart from that, also we deal with the issues of the human rights, like the social justice. Weekly, we always have our meetings here, just only to organize, to mobilize ourselves, and maybe to talk to the youths, to talk to the community as a whole. There are three types of people: those who make things happen, those who observe them happening, and the millions who have no idea of whatever is happening. So we want to incorporate the millions, those who doesn't have any idea, you know, of whatever is happening. Having interacted with some of them around the country, I can see that slight improvement after what happened during the post-election violence. Those are the things that we are trying to change.
My name is David Njihia. I'm a member of Shabaha movement. Shabaha comes from the word Shabaha, which means target. In 2009, November, we met in a national forum. With this, the initial group of the 170 young leaders, through the great guidance of the Kenya Community Development Foundation, through the youth program, the idea of having a Shabaha movement was born. We organize trainings in our communities, one on leadership and social accountability, and now be able to organize regular meetings where young people discuss issues that are affecting their communities. We sat together and agreed to discuss issues per province. And from each, we formed the Shabaha regional groups. And I got in charge of the Shabaha Central. We use an online platform where we discuss also different issues. So that because we want to reach as many youths as we can. And we found that most youths are using the social network. Then over time, we brought about the idea of having what we call the political cafes. The political cafes are open spaces where we discuss current affairs in very informal settings.
Tumezaruliwa, tumepuuzwa, tumenyanyaswa. Sasa imetosha. Sasa imetosha. Tulinde misingi aliweka Mwalimu, jenga jamii ya watu walio sawa na uhuru, wanaojitegemea.
When we went to the World Social Forum in Senegal, I was able to meet with another network of Pan-African youths.
In Senegal, there are like over 60,000 people. The same problems that you see here, especially in this place, are happening everywhere, and people are struggling. They're in constant struggle. One of the interesting things was to see women in West Africa united, and they are farmers, and they have a whole union. And they are really united. They know the price of their products to sell. But look at here, you cannot decide how to sell your maize. Someone has to buy, keep it 1 week, and then he'll sell it to you again at a higher price. So this is something that people need to learn from. And then once we all realize that they struggle, it will bring us together.
I interact with a number of disability-serving organizations and even individuals living with disabilities. The disability struggle, all the attitudinal change and everything, I think it's uniform. And through that, there is a dialogue going on between the Disability Focus Africa Kenya and a number of disability-serving organizations in Senegal that will have a platform where we could actually share how do we then move forward.
There is hunger for change right now here in Africa. The international travels have taught me that, whether it was in Arusha, whether it was in Senegal, whether it was in Ghana, there's hunger for change here. And people have ways, and people are ridiculously and by far very brilliant in the way they're thinking.
Welcome to USCC. USCC stands for United African Alliance Community Center. So this is where the fellows are, and this is where we are doing leadership with the community, students, and the people living in USCC.
USCC is based in Mbaseni village in Arusha, Tanzania. And it is a community center run by Pete O'Neill and Charlotte O'Neill, two former Black Panthers. It is a center that works with community in Tanzania in terms of organizing using different forms, either art, music, and the likes. It's also where different people from different parts of the world come to understand about Africa.
Tanzania was both spiritual, it was both healing, it was a lot for me. And I learned a lot from Mzee Pete, and I learned a lot also from Mama Charlotte. And also, I got to meet history.
I think the Fahamu movement is something that is very much needed. I think it builds on some of the things that I experienced as a young teenager, actually. You know, the idea that this should be a grassroots movement really mirrors the same kind of concept that we have for community activism. If you can share different ideas, different techniques, different visions with that community and let them, you know, use their own culture, their own traditions, their own way of doing things that works inside their own community. You're hitting the nail on the head. This is something that will just grow and grow among the young people, and this is what will make it sustainable. So I say right on to y'all.
The history of Rwanda, really, first it was very humbling to see that this is a country that in 1994 was in a genocide. African independent government did not rewrite the injustices that were created during the colonial era. They continued building themselves in that foundation, and that's what's happened to Rwanda. And the same thing with Kenya. And also very important is to see that people can have a shared common history, a shared culture, a shared language, but they can be divided because of poverty.
Okay, let's start. Mingle, mingle. Hey. Mingle, mingle. Hey. Mingle, mingle.
Interacting with Isho was one thing I really loved so much, because every weekend we are having an activity, every weekend we are having a function, comedy night, dancing. Also the office work, the things that we are doing, making the strategic plan and also developing a program that is youth education through arts in social justice.
Before I went there, I was so scared. I was like, now what am I going to wear? Because I felt like I had to change something. Because I was told they're hostile, they just come out of, you know, of the genocide. But the fun thing about it is, like, one of these comedies, there was actually a comedy on the gay people, you know, and it was fun. And then even at the festival, there was a gay community from Burundi. They were doing a show, and then I was like, this is great. I don't know why people were scaring me.
Going to Rwanda and going to an art center, Isho Art Center, it was, you know, so you can really do art for advocacy. It was such an impact on me. And I said, when I go back, Nubia Rights Forum, we have to do art. If it's play, we use play to create awareness within the minority.
I can see that that life with you guys, you know?
When I was there, most of them wanted to come to Kenya, you know? Like, they want to know what is happening in Kenya, what is the current situation in Kenya.
Sasa imetosha. Sasa imetosha. Sasa imetosha. Sasa imetosha. Tumezarauliwa, tumepuuzwa, tumenyanyaswa. Sasa imetosha. Sasa imetosha. Linda misingi aliweka mwalimu, jenga jamii ya watu walio sawa na huru, wanaojitegemea. Ndiyo misingi ya utu, ndiyo misingi ya utu. Misingi aliweka mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere, misingi ya utu. Jenga jamii ya watu walio sawa na huru. Yeah, yeah. Sasa imetosha. Sasa imetosha. Sasa imetosha. Sasa imetosha. Tumezarauliwa, tumepuuzwa, tumenyanyaswa.